Hello students, welcome back. This is Asma Bhavani. Today we will discuss Social Science of Grade 7, the new GSEB book, Chapter 2, The Delhi Sultanate. Let's start the chapter. Delhi has been center of Indian politics since ancient times. Delhi was an important center of trade and commerce during the reign of Tomar and Chauhan Rajputs in the 12th century. The Delhi Sultanate was established in the early 13th century. The rulers who ruled over the vast area of North India between 1206 AD and 1526 AD are known as Sultan, and their reign is known as Delhi Sultanate. These rulers were originally of Turkish and Afghan origin. During these 325 years, total 5 dynasties came to power in Delhi Sultanate, including the Slave dynasty, the Khilji dynasty, the Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, and Lodi dynasty. Along with Delhi Sultanate, we will also study about Vijayanagar and Bahamani empires in this lesson. Students, Delhi was always the center of Indian politics. Many rulers wanted to rule over Delhi, they wanted to rule over India, and Delhi was the important place to rule on India. It was an important center for trade and commerce. As you all know, Indian spices, Indian clothes, many Indian materials were so good that all the different countries, they wanted to invade India. They wanted to first trade with India, and then when they knew that India was a very good trade center, they wanted to rule over India also. So initially it was a great center of trade and commerce during reign of Tomar. He was a king, and Chauhan Rajputs in the 12th century. Then later on, in early 13th century, the Delhi Sultanate established in India, and the rulers who ruled on the North India between 1206 AD to 1526 AD, they were known as sultans, and these sultans, their dynasty was known as Delhi Sultanate. During this sultanate, there were 5 different dynasties which ruled over India. Initially, the slave dynasty was established. Then came the Khilji dynasty. It overthrew the slave dynasty. Then, after Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty came to existence. Then Sayyid dynasty, and then Lodi dynasty. And students, along with these 5 dynasties of Sultanate, Delhi Sultanate, we will also study about the state of Vijayanagar and Bahamani empires in this lesson. Rulers of the Delhi Sultanate. Slave dynasty, 1206 AD to 1290 AD. In 1192 AD, in the Second Battle of Terai, Shahabuddin Ghori won a decisive victory over Prithviraj Chauhan and laid the foundation of Delhi Sultanate in 1206 AD. Students, in the previous chapter, as we studied that in the Second Battle of Terai, there were 2 battles fought between Shahabuddin Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan. In first battle, Shahabuddin Ghori was defeated. But in the second battle, Shahabuddin Ghori won the battle, and he laid the foundation of Delhi Sultanate in 1206 AD. After the death of Muhammad Ghori, his slave Qutbuddin Aibak became the first Sultan of Delhi Sultanate. During his reign of only 5 years, he tried to retain the Sultanate power. He fell from the horseback while playing polo and died in 1210 AD. After his death, his slave as well as his son-in-law Iltutmish came to power. He established Chahalgani, that is Chargan, that is a force of 40 Turkish nobles to make Sultanate supreme. He shifted the capital from Lahore to Delhi. Iltutmish is considered to be the true founder of slave dynasty. Students, in the medieval period, Delhi witnessed the changing kingdoms and empires. Most of the rulers of the Sultanate era were Turkish and Afghans. Turkish rulers established their power in India. Muhammad Ghori, he took the charge over Delhi after defeating Prithviraj Chauhan in the Second Battle of Terai with the help of his governor named Qutbuddin Aibak, who was earlier brought to him as a slave. From this time onwards, the rulers were mostly Turkish and were the followers of Islam. They called themselves Sultan. So this dynasty, or the name of the dynasty, came to be known as Delhi Sultanate. This period was ruled by 5 dynasties as it is shown in the timeline. I will share the picture of the 5 dynasties with you. Students, Muhammad Ghori did not have a son. So he trained and mastered his slaves like his sons. His slaves were excellent in both military and administrative tactics. After Muhammad Ghori's death in 1206 CE, many of his slaves declared themselves as independent rulers. Among them, Qutbuddin Aibak was the most efficient ruler who declared himself as the Sultan of Delhi and founded the slave dynasty. During his reign, within 5 years, in just 5 years, he tried to retain the Sultanate power. But unfortunately, while playing polo one day, he fell from the horse and he died in 1210 AD. And after his death, his slave, as well as his son-in-law, there was a slave Iltutmish who was Qutbuddin Aibak's slave, and that slave was Qutbuddin Aibak's son-in-law also. His name was Iltutmish. So he came to the power. He established Chahal Gani, that is, he established a force of 40 Turkish nobles. 40 He established a force of 40 ministers to make the Sultanate supreme, to make it strong. He shifted the capital from Lahore to Delhi. Initially, the capital of Sultanate period was Lahore, but he shifted the capital from Lahore to Delhi. And Iltutmish is considered the true founder of slave dynasty. Iltutmish did not find any of his sons deserving the position of the Sultan, so he declared his capable daughter Razia Sultana as his successor. Shortly after the death of Iltutmish, his daughter Razia ascended the throne of Delhi. She was the first woman ruler to ascend the throne of Delhi. Minhaj-e-Siraj, a historian of that time, also admitted that Razia was more capable to become Sultan as compared to her brothers. Yet, it was difficult to gain recognition as a woman ruler. Even the courtiers were not willing to accept her as an independent ruler. Her rule came to an end because of greed for power of the nobles and the ongoing rebellion. The state was in turmoil for 6 years after her death. The nobles enthroned Iltutmish's son Nasiruddin on the throne of Delhi. He ruled for 21 years. After his death, Ghiyasuddin Balban came to the throne. He destroyed the Chahalgani force and overthrew the grip of nobles from the regime. He strengthened the king's position. Balban was a patron of literature and art. After his reign of 22 years, within short time the Khilji dynasty was established in Delhi Sultanate. Students, though Iltutmish had many sons, but no one was as efficient as his daughter Razia. So before dying, he chose Razia as his successor. But the nobles were disappointed with his choice as it was against the patriarchal society. So after the death of Iltutmish, they chose Ruknuddin Firoz Shah, that is Razia's brother, as the successor of the throne. But Ruknuddin was an inefficient ruler. He used to spend his time in entertainment and merrymaking. And Razia Sultana was a great woman ruler. She was wise, a prudent, just and generous, a benefactor to the kingdom, and a protector of her subjects and efficient leader of her armies. Razia faced many challenges, especially she was opposed by the Chahalgani, that is the group of 40 Turkish nobles, and even the military leaders who controlled the political affairs of Delhi. She captured the throne with the support of her followers, and Razia reigned for a short period of 4 years. Later on, after her death, her younger brother Nasiruddin occupied the throne. But his guardian, Ghiyasuddin Balban, he was the head of the nobles and he was all powerful when he became the ruler of Delhi. After the death of Nasiruddin in 1266 CE, Balban declared himself as the Sultan of Delhi. He was a strong man who believed in ruling by power. He efficiently protected his kingdom from various attacks. He himself was a slave of Iltutmish, but he always wanted the people to respect him. He stopped Chahalgani force, he destroyed the Chahalgani force, and he overthrew the grip of the nobles from the regime. He did not wanted any nobles, any ministers to interfere in his matters, okay? And he even strengthened the king's position. He was patron, he used to love literature and art. He reigned for 22 years, but within a short period of time after his death, you can say, Khilji dynasty came into power and slave dynasty ended. Khilji dynasty 1290 AD to 1320 AD. The rule of Khilji dynasty started with the ruler Jalaluddin. After 6 years of Jalaluddin, ambitious Sultan Alauddin came to the throne of Delhi. He expanded his empire by conquering North India, Gujarat, and South India. He started the system of keeping permanent army in Delhi. He introduced a system of mark, that is dag, face, that is chehra, for distinctive identification of army horses and soldiers. Students, Balban died in 1287 CE, and after which the slave dynasty weakened and new dynasty, that is Khilji, rose to power in Delhi. Jalaluddin Khilji killed the grandson of Balban, who was a weak successor, and ascended the throne of Delhi. He was very generous. Jalaluddin Khilji was very generous and kind ruler, but was considered as a weak administrator due to his forbearing policies towards the Mughals. He ruled till 1296 CE and was succeeded by his nephew Alauddin Khilji, who brutally murdered him when he went to meet him alone after his conquest over Devagiri. So here it is clear that Alauddin Khilji, he wanted to acquire the throne. He was son-in-law of Jalaluddin and even his nephew. And Alauddin, he brutally murdered Jalaluddin Khilji and came to power. He started the system of keeping permanent army, and he also introduced the system of dag chehra, that is he wanted a distinctive mark on all the for the identification of horses and the soldiers. He also made administrative reforms like price regulation, market control, and hoarding regulation. After the death of Alauddin Khilji, the state was in turmoil. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was the one who ended the Khilji dynasty and started the Tughlaq rule from the throne of Delhi. Students, Alauddin Khilji controlled the prices of commodities. Intelligent officers were appointed to implement the market control measures, and he also made arrangements to store large quantities of grain in Delhi and Rajasthan to be used in the times of need. After Alauddin Khilji, after his death, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, he was the one who ended the Khilji dynasty and he started Tughlaq rule from the throne of Delhi. Know this, famous poet Amir Khusro was there during the rule of Alauddin Khilji. He composed famous literary works like Sadayan, Ashika, No Sifir, etc. Tughlaq dynasty 1320 AD to 1414 AD. During the Tughlaq dynasty, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was one of the most talented sultan. He implemented some schemes during his rule, including relocation of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, symbolic currency experiment, etc. Most of the schemes failed due to lack of practicality as well as lack of planned implementation. Hence, these schemes have gone down in history as eccentric schemes. Ibn Battuta, an African traveler, visited India during the time of Muhammad Tughlaq. Muhammad Tughlaq was succeeded by his paternal cousin Firoz Shah Tughlaq. After the death of Firoz Shah, Temur Lung invaded Delhi in 1398 AD to 1399 AD. Because of this attack, the foundations of power were shaken and Tughlaq power became limited. Students, the Tughlaqs came to power in 1320 CE. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq founded the city of Tughlaqabad in Delhi. He was an able administrator. He took care of the welfare of the peasants through his liberal policies. He expanded the Delhi Sultanate and consolidated it by establishing peace and order in the kingdom. He undertook many constructive measures such as building of canals, bridges, roads, and means of communication. He died in 1325 AD, and when a pavilion built by his son collapsed after his death, his son Juna Khan proclaimed himself as the new Sultan and assumed the title of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the most famous Tughlaq ruler. He was better known as mixture of opposites, and he was an efficient administrator and excellent commander. He was extremely innovative, but all his strategies failed because he implemented them in great hassle. The schemes which he tried to implement was the shifting of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. Students, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he was motivated to transfer his capital from Delhi to Devgiri, or you can say Daulatabad. which was 1400 kilometers from Delhi. He wanted that his most of the vast empire, the center of his vast empire was Daulatabad. So he wanted people to, he wanted entire population to shift from Delhi to Daulatabad, and this created a great hardship to the people. And the second thing was that the attack of Mongols, and it was more difficult to control Delhi by sitting in Daulatabad rather than control south by sitting in Delhi. So he realized this, and he again ordered people to shift from Daulatabad to Delhi, which was a disaster. Many people lost their lives on the way due to such arduous journey. So his first scheme, that is one of the scheme of shifting the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, it failed. Next scheme he wanted to implement was introduction of Taka currency, and this was the third blunder done by Muhammad bin Tughlaq to introduce bronze coins in place of silver coins. The coins were called Taka. He did this because he was inspired by contemporary Chinese and Iranian ruler, and there was a shortage of silver. These bronze coins had the same value as pure silver coins. The king also ordered that they could be easily exchanged from the royal treasury. This proved to be a major failure as bronze was a cheaper metal, so people started minting coins in their homes, and the Sultanate was flooded with forged coins. The design of these coins was also very simple, so anyone could easily copy them. So, as a result, the foreign merchants also refused to take these coins, and the royal treasury was emptied. So students, these were the only two schemes which he wanted to implement, but they were completely failed due to lack of practicality. Practically, these schemes were not able to follow. It was unable to implement these policies. Okay, there were more two schemes which he wanted to establish, which he wanted to implement. One was raising taxes in the Doab region, and the last one was military expeditions. Students, after Muhammad Tughlaq, his paternal cousin Firoz Shah, he came to power, and he was a very wise and liberal sultan. He succeeded in restoring the financial prosperity, and he ruled according to the Islamic laws and brought back Sharia laws. He set up a charitable hospital called Darul Shifa in Delhi, and he built many canals, forts, and mosques, and established new towns like Firozpur, Firozabad, etc. He started a separate department for the slaves, and Delhi bore the onslaught of Timur's invasion, which led to the downfall of Tughlaq dynasty. And finally, Timur, he invaded India. He attacked Delhi, and because of this attack, the power of Tughlaqs was shaken. They became very weak. The foundation became very weak, and finally, Tughlaq were overthrown by another dynasty, which is Sayyid dynasty. Sayyid dynasty came to power in 1414 AD to 1451 AD. And after Sayyid dynasty, Lodi dynasty came to power from 1451 AD to 1526 AD. After the end of Tughlaq dynasty, Khizr Khan established the Sayyid dynasty. After the Sayyid dynasty, Bahlol Lodi established the Lodi dynasty. Bahlol was the first Afghan ruler of the Lodi Sultanate. The last emperor of the Lodi dynasty was Ibrahim Lodi. He was defeated by Babur in the first battle of Panipat in 1526 AD, and Sultanate era came to an end and Mughal rule started. Students, Temur was Central Asian Turk who raided India in 1398 CE and plundered it. He was the ruler of Samarkand in Central Asia who had embraced Islam. He was like a storm, destroying anything that came in his way. Okay, so the Tughlaq power could never recover from the blow of Timur's invasion. And then Sayyid dynasty came to existence in 1414 to 1526. After Sayyid, Lodi dynasty came to existence. The rulers of the Sayyid dynasty remained in power for a short period. Okay, the main rulers were Khizr Khan, Mubarak Shah, Muhammad Shah, and Khilji Alam Shah. The last ruler, Alauddin Alam Shah, fought with Bahlul Khan Lodi of the Lodi dynasty and was defeated, and this led to the rise of the Lodi dynasty. Bahlal Lodi was the governor of Lahore and Sirhind. He founded the Lodi dynasty, and he annexed many territories such as Jaunpur, Gwalior, and some parts of the northern and eastern India. Bahlal Lodi acquired the title of Khan Khanum. He was a tolerant and diplomatic ruler who checked his rebellious nobles and protected his kingdom from invasions. Then he was after Bahlal Lodi, his successor was Sikandar Lodi. Sikandar Lodi was most successful and powerful ruler of Lodi dynasty, and he was an able administrator and encouraged trade and commerce. After Sikandar Lodi, Ibrahim Lodi came to power, and he was the last Sultan of the Delhi Sultanate, who ruled from 1517 CE to 1526 CE. He opposed the revolts of Afghan nobles and tried to suppress the nobles. They conspired against him and invited Babur, the king of Kabul, to help them in overthrowing Ibrahim Lodi. Babur took advantage of this situation and invaded India in 1526 CE. The first battle of Panipat was fought between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi in the same year in which Lodi was defeated, and Babur laid the foundation of the Mughal dynasty, and thus the Delhi Sultanate led to its downfall after over 3 centuries. State administration. The Delhi Sultanate, which was established in the 13th century, was unique in terms of state governance. The Sultan was at the center of the Delhi Sultanate. The power of Sultan was paramount. He was always the supreme commander, the supreme head of the executive, and the supreme judge. There was a cabinet to help the Sultan. Cabinet ministers and officials were appointed by the Sultan himself. The Sultanate system was divided into 3 sections, namely central, provincial, and local. Students, the Delhi Sultanate, which was established in 13th century, it was unique in the terms of the governance, the system of the governance, and the Sultan was always at the center of the system. He was the main commander, main supreme commander. He was the head of the executive, and he was a supreme judge. His word was final word. Okay, and the cabinet ministers and officers were appointed to help Sultan. The Sultanate system was divided into 3 sections. First was central, second provincial, and third local. So let's study about all three in detail. First is central rule. The cabinet was the chief after the Sultan. The Sultan's chief minister was called the Wazir, who was the head of the administration. Besides this, the cabinet consisted of army, postal department, religious department, foreign affairs department, intelligence department, etc. Thus, more or less modern cabinet-like arrangements were seen at that time. Students, the main chief after the Sultan was called Wazir. He was the chief minister of the state, and he was the head of the administration. Apart from Wazir, there were many departments there were other cabinets. First was army, next was postal department to send the letters or messages to other kings. Next was religious department, foreign affairs department, intelligence department, and many more. Okay, so these were the arrangements of cabinet. It was like modern cabinet arrangements which was seen at that time. Know this, during the time of Alauddin Khilji, the postal system came into existence to fulfill government requirements. Runners carried royal messages and orders. These runners were in all the important centers of the state. In this way, it can be called the initial version of the current postal system. Students, the initial postal system was started by Alauddin Khilji. He established the postal system. He made the runners carry the royal messages and orders. The soldiers were made to carry the orders and messages of the kings to the second person, and in all the states there were this kind of runners, this kind of messengers who were employed. Next is provincial rule. During the Sultanate, the province was divided into Jagirs, which was called Iktas. The head of Ikta was called Iktadar or Mukti, who was the head of the executive and the judiciary of the province. His job was to provide army to the Sultan whenever needed and to collect the land revenue. However, in the time of Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad Tughlaq, the central army was given importance and control over Iqtadar was established. Students, the province was divided into Jagirs, and these were called Iktas, and the person who were handling the iktas were called iktadar or mukhi. Their main job was to provide army to Sultan. Whenever the Sultan used to need the army, this iktadar or the mukti, they used to provide the army to the king. And at the time of Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad Tughlaq, the central army, it was given more importance, and the control of it over Iqtadar was established at that time. Now next is local government. The unit after the province was divided into district and talukas called Shik or Parganas respectively. The village administration was headed by the Mukhi or Mukadam, and the clerk and Patwari helped him. Now students, on the local level, there were districts divided into talukas, and talukas were known as Sheikh and Parganas, and the head of the Sheikh and Parganas were called Mukhi, or you can say Mukadam also, and they had clerks and Patwaris who used to help Mukhi and Mukadam in their work. Forts and other constructions. The establishment of the Delhi Sultanate marked the beginning of construction of Indo-Islamic style architecture in India. During the Sultanate period, significant works of architecture like forts, mosques, tombs, houses, gardens, gates, minarets, etc. were constructed. Students, at the time of Delhi Sultanate, Indo-Islamic style of architecture was started. There was a beginning of Indo-Islamic style in India, and during the Sultanate period, different kings, different rulers, they built different architectures like forts, mosques, tombs, houses, gardens, minarets, gates, etc. A mosque named Quwwatul Islam was built in Delhi during the time of Qutbuddin Aibak. Another important building built during Qutbuddin Aibak's reign was Qutub Minar. Only one floor of it was constructed during his reign, and Iltutmish completed the rest of the work after his death. Students, Qutbuddin Aibak, he built Quwwatul Islam and in the Quwwatul Islam in Delhi, and he also started the construction of Qutub Minar, but unfortunately he died after the construction of the first floor, and the rest of the construction was done by Iltutmish. He completed the rest of the construction after Qutbuddin Aibak's death. Students, Qutub Minar has 5 stories, and the first floor till the first floor it was constructed during the time of Qutbuddin Aibak, and the rest of the floors were constructed during the reign of Iltutmish, and it was renovated by Firoz Shah Tughlaq and Sikandar Lodi. Another building built by Qutbuddin Aibak was a mosque called Dhai Din Ka Jhopda, which is located in Ajmer. The construction during the period of Iltutmish include Hauz-e-Shami, Shami Idgah, and Jama Masjid. Students, Qutbuddin Aibak also constructed Dhai Din Ka Jhopda, which is located in Ajmer. And the other construction during the period of Iltutmish were Hauz-e-Shami, Shami Idgah, and Jama Masjid. Major construction work during the reign of Alauddin Khilji include Alai Darwaza, Siri Fort, and a town named Siri and Hauze Khas. Students, Alauddin Khilji constructed Alai Darwaza, Siri Fort. He also constructed a town. The name of the town was Siri and Hauze Khas. Tughlaqabad, Firozabad, Hisar, Jaunpur, Firozpur, Fatehabad, etc. towns were settled during the Tughlaq rule. During this period, many forts, mosques, lakes, palaces, baths, tombs, bridges, inns, gardens, etc. were built in Delhi. Tombs and mosques were built during the Sayyid and the Lodi dynasty. Bande Khan's dome, Bada Gumbaj, Moth's Mosque, and Shihabuddin's tomb were the major ones among them. Students, during Tughlaq rule, Tughlaqabad was built, Firozabad, Hisar, Jaunpur, Firozpur, Fatehabad, etc. and many towns were settled during Tughlaq rule. And many forts, mosques, lakes, tombs, baths, palaces, gardens, bridges, inns were built during this period in Delhi. And especially tombs and mosques were built during the Sayyid and Lodi dynasty. Okay, Bande Khan's dome, Bada Gumbaj, Moth Mosque, Shihabuddin's tomb, these were the major among them. Vijayanagar Empire, 1336 AD to 1646 AD. The process of disintegration of the Delhi Sultanate began during the time of the weak sultans of the Tughlaq dynasty. This process accelerated during the Sayyid dynasty and the Lodi dynasty. Students, Delhi Sultanate began to weak after the Tughlaq dynasty, and this weakness continued during the Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. It did not strengthen, but it further weakened the dynasties. The situation was further deteriorated by Taimur's invasion. The situation further worsened during the invasion of Taimur. Due to all these conditions, many North and South Indian states became independent, including Vijayanagar, Bahmani, Malwa, Mewar, Bengal, Jaunpur, etc. Let's get some information about Vijayanagar and Bahmani. Students, during the weak time of Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty, and further when the Taimur invaded, many of the kings they declared themselves as independent in North and South India. And these kingdoms were Vijayanagar, Bahmani, Malwa, Mewar, Bengal, Jaunpur, and many more were there. Okay, so here we will study about the two major kingdoms. That is, first one is Vijayanagar and second is Bahmani. Two brothers named Harihar Rai and Bukka Rai in 1336 AD laid the foundation of the Vijayanagar Empire on the banks of river Tungabhadra, making it the capital of their kingdom. The town was initially known as Vidyanagar after his guru Swami Vidyaranya. Later on, it was called Vijayanagar due to military success of their emperors. Harihar Rai and Bukka Rai were the kings of the Sangam dynasty. Vijayanagar Empire was ruled by Sangam dynasty, Saluva dynasty, Tuluva dynasty, and Aravidu dynasty. Harihar Rai I and Bukka Rai made an important contribution in twinning a small kingdom into an empire. Rule of the Saluva dynasty lasted for 20 years, and then Tuluva dynasty was established. So students, in the heading Vijayanagar Empire, we'll study about the Vijayanagar Empire, how it was established. There were two brothers. The name of first brother was Harihar Rai and second was Bukka Rai. They laid the foundation of Vijayanagar Empire on the bank of river Tungabhadra, and it was made the capital of their kingdom. The town was initially, it was known as Vidyanagar because the name of their guru was Swami Vidyaranya. So they kept the name of the town as Vidyanagar. But later on, due to the success of their military and the success of their emperors, it was known as Vijayanagar. Harihar Rai and Bukka Rai, they were the kings of Sangam dynasty, and Vijayanagar Empire, it was ruled by Sangam dynasty. Then later on, Saluva dynasty came to existence, and after Saluva, Tuluva dynasty came, and after Tuluva, Aravidu dynasty came to existence. So while Harihar Rai and Bukka Rai, they belonged to Sangam dynasty, they made an important contribution. Within the span of 8 years, the kingdom of Vijayanagar, it expanded. Okay, and after the rule of Harihar Rai and Bukka Rai, Saluva dynasty lasted for 20 years, and then Tuluva dynasty was established. Great ruler like Krishnadev Rai was born in the Tuluva dynasty, who was the best ruler of Tuluva dynasty of the Vijayanagar Empire. Students, Krishnadev Rai, he was born in Tuluva dynasty and he was the best ruler of this dynasty of Vijayanagar Empire. Not only this, he even got the honor of being a great ruler of India. He won many battles during his reign. Although Krishnadev spent most of his life on the battlefield, he did not neglect the administration. He got lakes and canals dug in the state and enriched agriculture. He abolished some unjust laws and gained love of the people. Students, Krishnadev Rai was a very great ruler. He got honor of being a great ruler of India, and he has won many battles during his reign. And although he spent most of his life on the battlefield, then also he did not neglect the administration. He kept doing his work of administration of his kingdom. He made the lakes being constructed, canals dug in his state. He enriched the agriculture in his state, and he even abolished some unjust laws which were very unjust, which were very cruel, which were not actually needed, and he started gaining love of the people. He established a town called Nagalpur near Vijayanagar and decorated it with various buildings and temples. Students, Krishna Dev Rai, he established a town, and the name of the town was called Nagalpur. And he even built various buildings and temples in Nagalpur and made it as a decorated town. Krishnadev Rai was himself a great scholar. He wrote several texts in Sanskrit and Telugu. Due to the spread of literary art, he became well known as the Bhoj of Andhra. He even wrote several texts in Sanskrit and Telugu, and because of his contribution in literary art, he was known as Bhoj of Andhra. After Krishna Dev Rai's death, internal conflicts and conspiracies started in Vijayanagar. Vijayanagar was defeated by the Union of Muslim States in the Battle of Talikota on January 23, 1565. Even after the war, Vijayanagar Empire lasted for a century but did not achieve the same grandeur as before. Students, after the death of Krishna Dev Rai, the internal conflicts and the conspiracies started in Vijayanagar. Many kings wanted to acquire the throne of Vijayanagar, and finally it was defeated by the Union of Muslim States in the Battle of Talikota on 23rd January 1565. And after getting defeated in this battle, Vijayanagar lasted. This empire lasted for a century, but it did not achieve the same grandeur as before. The next kingdom is Bahmani kingdom, 1347 AD to 1518 AD. Zafar Khan established the Bahmani kingdom in the south during the Tughlaq dynasty. This kingdom influenced the politics of South India for almost a century and a half. Zafar Khan, under the name of Alauddin Bahman Shah, ruled independently. He annexed several territories to his state, making Gulmarg the capital of newly independent state. Students, Bahmani kingdom was established by Zafar Khan in 1347 AD in the South India when Tughlaq dynasty was ruling in Delhi, and this kingdom influenced the politics of South India for almost a century and a half. Century means 100 years, and a half means 150 years. And Zafar Khan, he used to rule independently in the name of Alauddin Bahman Shah, and he started annexing several territories. He started winning many territories, and he made the capital of his newly independent state. The capital was Gulmarg. New capital was Gulmarg. The reign of Ahmad Shah and Muhammad Shah III are significant in Bahmani Empire. Ahmad Shah moved his capital to Bidar from Gulmarg and built several buildings in Bidar. Mahmud Gawa was the Wazir of Muhammad Shah III. He created a competent administration. Bahmani power strengthened during the reign of Muhammad Shah III. After that, during reign of Mahmud Shah, all the power of the state passed into the hands of his Wazir Qasim Barid, and it was during his reign that Bahmani came to an end. The whole empire was divided into 5 independent states like Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Golconda, Bidar and Barar. Students, after Zafar Khan, Ahmad Shah and Muhammad Shah III came to the power at different times. During Ahmad Shah moved his capital to Bidar from Gulmarg. Initially, during the time of Zafar Khan, the capital was Gulmarg, but Ahmad Shah moved the capital from Gulmarg to Bidar, and he even built many buildings in Bidar. Muhammad Gawa was the Wazir of Muhammad Shah III, and he created a competent administration, a strong administration in Bahmani power. He strengthened the power during the reign of Muhammad Shah III, and after that, during the time of reign of Mahmud Shah, all the power of the state it passed on to the hands of his Wazir Qasim Barid. And during when the power was in the hands of Wazir Qasim Barid, the power of Bahmani came to an end, the reign came to an end. And finally, the whole empire was divided into 5 independent states, and the 5 independent states were Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Golconda, Bidar and Barar. End of Delhi Sultanate rule. Delhi Sultanate was established in 1206 AD by Qutbuddin Aibak, and after 320 years came to an end in 1526 AD with the end of the rule of Ibrahim Lodi. In the span of around 325 years, the right powerful and sometimes weak sultans came to the throne. The Muslim Empire of Delhi saw many ups and downs and was ultimately destroyed. Students, Finally, in 1526, the Delhi Sultanate, which was established in 1206 AD by Qutbuddin Aibak, it lasted for 320 years, but finally in 1526 it came to an end with the rule of Ibrahim Lodi. They ruled for around span of 325 years, and during these 325 years the right king came to the throne, the powerful kings came to the throne, and sometimes weak sultans came to the throne. And finally the Muslim empire of Delhi saw many ups and downs, and was ultimately destroyed. Students, here we end our chapter 2, the Delhi Sultanate.